Support for the Red Dirt D&D podcast comes from Home Creations, Oklahoma City builders providing homes in the OKC metro for over 40 years, offering new homes with wood-like tile, LED lighting, and smart thermostats. Locations and features at homecreations.com.
Welcome to the round table for Red Dirt D&D 5th edition Curse of the Clockwork City. I am Brooke Bullock and just excited to be here. I'm joined by the illustrious
Michael Cross.
I didn't know who was going to jump in on that actually.
I wasn't even looking. So
I'm Johnny Payne, and I'm not going to say anything that will upstage Kiri and that she has to follow. Take it away, Kiri.
I don't need to introduce myself. You already said I'm here.
Kiri needs no introduction.
The incomparable Kiri Hester.
I'm Connor Shenold, once again, still here.
Still here, still Connor.
Awake is a different.
I'm still Connor.
You know what? It's still hair is what it is. Even though it's a new do, it looks phenomenal. I know this is, as Michael Cross likes to say, radio and not
That's right.
television.
I shaved my goatee.
Woo! That's why you look so much thinner.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah. I just realized
I
that.
combed my hair different.
I haven't really
I
looked
did
at Johnny
notice him
today.
trying
I
to,
dropped
like,
70
pet
pounds. Yeah, I still reach up for the goatee.
Your microphone's not covering your beard's not covering
Right?
your microphone. It sounds so much better.
Yeah, there you go.
Shut up, you.
Should.
Connor, did you ever see the movie 3 Men and a Baby?
No, but I've heard of it.
Sometimes I feel like a baby.
It was scary.
I'm
we
the
are
baby.
the 3 men?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the scary thing?
And as long as I'm not Steve Gutenberg, I'm fine.
Wait, one of us then is, as I mentioned, point to the other folks in the room and not Kiri. One of this then is the ghost behind the curtain,
ghost behind the curtain,
right?
that's
It's
right.
Connor.
It's
So
Connor.
Ted Danson, Tom Selleck, Steve Gutenberg.
There you go.
Or it's like the Three Musketeers, where actually there was a fourth one. But we just
For those of you who don't know, because
D'Artagnan!
you haven't watched it, because you're young, and that's fine. It's a good movie. But people on the set were creepily putting if there's scenes where you watch it and the camera pans by and in the window you can see a shadow of like a small
That's the ghost
child.
in the curtain.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
ghost in the
somebody
curtain.
messing with them and putting a cardboard stand-up of stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dun,
know-
dun, dun.
I actually did hear that the ghost of the curtain was some kid on the set.
Maybe.
There was
I don't
somebody brought their kid and
Well, it's like
actually-
an episode of, I think it was like Boba Fett maybe. There was someone still on set and they yelled action, and so he just tried to hide as best he could, but you could see his Converse sticking out.
Yeah.
And so they went and then digitally removed him.
It's a Starbucks cup moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Game of
Which,
Thrones and the Starbucks cup on the table.
In today's day and age of digital, being able to erase things digitally, the fact that a Starbucks cup got caught on, how many eyeballs are looking at all of this stuff?
From
and that
interviews
still
I've
got
seen,
me.
they just didn't care at that point.
Yeah.
They were like, they're probably gonna make Bran the king. I don't know. Let's just get through this last season.
That's right. All right. So, we just did episodes 54 through 56.
I think that's true.
some of our best episodes.
After doing 20 years of dungeon crawl, I think it was only right that we have 3 episodes of role playing.
That is often like the pendulum swing, though,
Right.
that happens so often. You have 3, 4, 8 episodes of Dungeon Crawl, and then you have 3, 4, 6, whatever episodes of role, ROLE, of role play. And do we find that happens in our home games too?
I don't know, because I don't know if we do as much.
I don't do as much heavy role play in my home games.
Right.
This is kind of true. Depending on what's going on, I will hand wave a conversation. Especially like with you guys. So, for example, we know this, am bad at flirting. God,
Evidently not in real life, though.
right.
But just here at the
But
table.
In real life, it's also bad, but you just get a guy that you've known since you were kids, and he'll hand wave it. Anyway, so but in my home game, I can say, Kenny, I say something nice that makes me sound cool. Let's move on.
And a lot of the store games I played in over the years, most of the role play happens between or with an NPC.
Yes.
And then it's minor role play amongst the characters, and then it's crawl.
Yeah.
I will say in my current home game, we're having some great dynamics with some of our like interplayer role play in that I am playing a twin, and so we are there's a lot of like
You talking to
emotional
yourself?
beats. No, I'm playing one half. I have a Trent is my twin.
Oh, okay.
And there are some things where recently we've been in some combat situations where one or the other has been really close to death, and it's been kind of like what would we do?
Dun, dun, dun.
And those kinds of things, and that's really
You're gonna have to break out.
like
An
the
emotional moment, right?
the role play. At home games, not maybe as emotional because you're we don't need to be as dramatic.
Yeah.
But I think in my current home game, we're pretty good at swinging the pendulum pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's also a very it's less combat dungeon crawl. It's more save the town, solve the mystery situation.
There you go.
I will say I did make a couple people cry during our run through of Tomb of Annihilation of all things.
Wild.
Oh, I know the backstory for one of your characters on there, or maybe the one that made it through. Yeah.
It was. There was 2 times that it happened.
Yeah.
Our Friday night group, we do, Karen is our DM, and she's just amazing at coming up with character voices and stuff. And so we love having conversations with her as different characters. So right now we're going through the Dragon Anthology one, that we're running through that one. But mostly I also play a lot of Adventurers League, and Adventurers League has very little role playing.
Yeah.
Because it is really, because you've got an X amount of time to get through it. You don't, most of your games where if it's like a full-on campaign, you've got more time to do role playing. But if you're doing Adventurers League, it's a 2-hour game. It's a 4-hour game. You've got to get through it, and you don't really have much time to do.
Well, it can be hard with Adventures League if you aren't playing with the same people frequently.
Yeah.
But we've been playing together now for half a decade, over half a decade. And so, but I think with this show, it has always seemed to swing that way. We'll have a lot of like high conflict episodes, and then we'll have a handful of either role play episodes, either enter between the characters, or maybe we are having to go to the library, that kind of stuff. So
exploration, which is always fun.
Exploration, that is the word I want.
And that's where, I think you're right. You tend to go, okay, we're going to go with the dungeon crawl, then we go back to town and we do the role playing or the purchasing, we do some buying stuff, and then exploration,
And it depends on what you like at the table and the group that you're with and that kind of thing too. So a couple years I think we were at SoonerCon, and Johnny, I can't remember if you were at the table or if you had to slip away, but we were wanting to play I and a couple other folks were wanting to play some Pathfinder 2e for one of the first times. And so we sat down for, what do they call those, scenarios?
Society scenario games.
Pathfinder Society scenario.
Oh, okay.
And I think Elizabeth was maybe our DM. She was the, not venture captain, but the person that was, in there. And so it was friends of the show and then this other guy. And we get in there and we just start role playing with the characters and the situation that is of getting into this ballroom or whatever it was. And you saw the guy across the table just kind of look like, I'm in the wrong
just
place.
Realize that he wasn't a friend.
He's like, this is not.
These guys are all friends.
This is different than what I've ever done before. And then you just saw him take this deep breath and he went, well, I'm a dwarf named Bob. And he just leaned into it. And we were all like, yeah!
Well, I told you the story before. It's been almost 10 years now at Gen Con playing a society game for Pathfinder 1. And the society games are very structured where it's it's the role plays in the very beginning when your patron is saying, go do this thing. And that's your role play moment. And it's usually 3 combats. And we did one of the 3 combats because we role played our way through 2 of them.
Awesome.
And the guy at the end was like, I've never seen anyone do that before. It was me and Kinder, friend of the show.
Yeah.
Then we took off with it. And then other people at the table were there was one guy who had this like really crunchy, beefed up character with all this gear he's collected over all these different sessions. He was mad. But yeah, we role played our way through. And the GM was like, I've never in my life seen anyone do what you guys
My
do.
favorite thing is to bluff my way through what's supposed to be a combat.
Yeah.
I did a test play for something, and I just made like a guy. You guys know I love to, especially if I'm not committing to a character, I'll just make a Kevin, right? He's just like a guy.
Yes.
Generally a fighter, generally a human or an orc. I just did an orc fighter guy. And we find ourselves transported out of fantasy and onto essentially a fantasy version of Grey's Anatomy episode. And so there was very clearly supposed to this combat setup, but I get my team on board and I get them to steal me a doctor's coat and one of those stupid little headlight lamps, and then also they stole like a college diploma off of a wall, and we convinced everybody that I was a doctor and they should listen to me. And we got our way through
Did you
it.
carry around the
and
framed
that's-
diploma and just be like, ta-da?
I am a doctor.
I'm legit. I'm bona fide.
That's what I did when Karen ran us through Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which if you read that, the very first of that entire book says you can actually make it through this entire thing with no combat whatsoever.
Amazing.
And I went,
Even though
I'm a
over
combat
half
guy.
your character sheet is about combat.
I love combat. Yes, because I do believe that Dungeons and Dragons is designed for combat.
Original strategy, war game, right? So-
But let me tell you, I had so much. Karen did such a great job of running us through that was one of my favorite memories of that. Is we had to rescue some kids, and I walk in and I said, I find the kids. I was like, okay, great. Hey kids, I'm here to take you out. And she goes, you're here to take us out? We still, to this day,
Take care of them.
repeat this. So they're going to take us out. It's okay, we're going to take you out.
Fantastic.
But that was, the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the entire thing was just role play and exploration and discovery.
Right.
Now, there are combat moments. You can fight if you choose, but you could also choose not to. And we basically did. We went through now there were a few combats, but for the most part, we almost went through the entire book talking our way through, my wife offering cookies to almost everybody.
It's a very Kimberly move, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. It was like cookies and brownies to everybody, and all of a sudden Karen was like, okay, fight's over. Yay!
This group then would have had like 3 minutes of just doubling down on innuendos for murder, further traumatizing the children.
Yes.
So,
But I think something in this particular game that kind of lends itself to these kind of role play moments are our separate storylines
Yes.
in a way. And we see that we bounce around on the episode kind of we're doing some little time back and forth. It makes me think of TV shows. In the way that you'll be following this character around for a while, and then you go to this character, and it's the same time period. You're not moving. You're not continuing forward. You're kind of going back for a little bit. But
And Star Trek does that the best, I think.
Right.
Where that's why we call them when you got a Worf episode, or you had a Data episode, or you have a Bashir episode.
Ship in a bottle episode.
Yeah, well, but it's always this going to focus on just this character at this time.
And so I think we did some great stuff with that, and Connor had some really great stuff with Minthra
Yes.
that I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
think that he necessarily anticipated. Sable having to, I don't want to say confront, because they didn't really confront, but
going back in that
internal
room,
conflict.
Didn't it confront?
going
but
back in that
dared.
room totally shocked me. I thought you were going to walk out of the room and just go.
He
Well,
was daring her.
I did contemplate it, but kind of everything that happened and Sable kind of getting this like light bulb maybe moment of having to deal with all this spider cult stuff and then taking a step back and really looking at the details on Minthra's door.
Yeah.
It was so awesome when you did that, because it's been there since episode 1 or 3 or whatever, right?
I think like when we first introduced Minthra as a character, sorry. It's a Baldur's Gate character, not my character. Minthra as a character. And just kind of a detail that I gave to just really sell that she's a drow. And then all this spider stuff came up, and Sable's known her for many, many years at this point. Worked with her as her only apprentice for many years at this point. And so when I was outside of the door after having snooped, I really thought, like, yeah, maybe I should just kind of go back to my room and have this conversation in the morning. But I think he was kind of a little bit in that confrontational mood of,
Been a long day.
Yeah, what is going on? But in a way that's not going to really alert her of having known that I know.
There were moments in there that are, one moment that's like almost unbelievable in how absolutely fantastic it was. And then great roleplay moments all the way through. But you're like looking through the ledger and you realize it's written in code. And how in the world did your brain pull back out from like episode 5 or 6, the chalkboard of the notes? Because I don't know if I had given like subliminal clues about it or not, but you were like, exactly right.
So me having taken on a little bit of a role of actually taking notes for this session, which I never do.
You and me both. I know. I've been meticulous here. Yeah. It's not good.
But like, I never take notes in anything. But I decided for this campaign to actually start taking notes. And I think that kind of helped draw back that memory, because I hadn't thought of that before.
Okay.
And even into that moment, I was like, wait a minute. And I pulled out my notes and I was like, I had written down like all of the names on that chalkboard from the very first thing.
Yes.
And we know that had led up into all of this discovery about the spider cult.
Yeah.
And so it was just like a random like epiphany essentially of, oh, hey, I actually did a thing at the very beginning that's now finally coming.
Right. And that happened.
Take notes, kids.
Yeah, right. And that happened with a couple of moments we'll probably talk about today, but that happened to a couple of things with different character arcs as well. But you also sold the conflict that Sable is having so well of, like you said, here's this person who you thought, she's never been motherly, but she's always been a mentor, a guide, someone you could lean on. And to think that, wait, is she in the opposition?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Sable was going through it.
I think that Minthra is here for Minthra.
Yes.
Well, it comes out, again, another kind of callback, but it comes out then when you or she makes the callback to the kids don't matter, right? Only the end goal matters.
Yeah.
Right?
I love that moment.
And then Sable says,
no, they do matter.
they do matter. She's like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And like you've seen Sable like occasionally like one sentence kind of push back, but never to the extent that he did in that conversation with her.
Or show his disagreement with like an extra long pause of silence.
Yeah.
And then move on. And this was like a verbal, like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good.
Like, very much so, like the first full out no to her.
Yeah.
Because, again, like one of the last conversations I had with her previously was going back to Moxie's bar and hanging out there and bringing danger to the siren song. And Sable had done a little bit of a pushback there, but easily caved.
Yeah.
You're a rebellious teenager, and I'm the guy on the motorcycle. I'm the bad influence.
This out.
I'm the bad influence.
You're like Fonzie.
Right. Yeah.
I'm the bad influence for good.
The bad influence for good.
Like if somebody, like Wednesday Addams made a friend that made her start wearing pink or something.
And here's where we put in the callback of like, we're best buds. Sure.
We are best friends.
It was a really great moment. We end up, of course, you called it as kind of an outtake to the side of like, I bet that package is for me, and you were exactly right.
Well, it was Chekhov's package. You couldn't, because Brooke very pointedly says there's a very specific package on the corner of this desk.
It wasn't there earlier.
Either it's going to be important, she's going to give it to him, or he's going to steal it. One of those three is going to happen.
Well, I also remember, I don't remember if this was also in the outtakes or not, but it was me meeting Cerulean, and he's got that nice duster because he's
Yes.
he's a rank ahead of me.
Mm-hmm. That wasn't the outtakes. You talk about getting promoted.
Yeah.
Yep. That deep indigo duster with like the sapphire, the slightly lighter sapphire thread that if you kind of know where to look, you see the gemstone on it or whatever. So now you have one.
Oh, I'm so excited. It's
Climbing
just
up the ranks.
decorative. It's just decor, but it's pretty.
It is pretty.
There you go.
We're here for aesthetics.
But yeah, well, we'll see what possibly comes out with Minthra. She could still be willing to work with Zaylen Pierce. Who knows?
Let me tell you, there's no profit to be made if there is a god rampaging around them.
Yeah.
We do have the closing moment where she pulls out this, Varenex holy symbol or amulet or whatever, and appears to be in meditation about it. And so, dun dun dun, right? Good stuff.
But it depends if she'll stay potentially true to Varenex or hop over to Lolth.
Or that's the other thing, is that Minthra has also done this bit this whole time where she's just like, let's kind of play both sides and see what happens. Let's just like stay out of this, and then we'll pick the winning side as they win.
Well,
right.
And it was really interesting because I didn't even think about it until we had the conversation. I was talking to Moxie, and where we were talking about spider cults, and like, I didn't really why they're all spider cults are considered evil, and I'm like, but spiders aren't bad.
No, they're wonderful.
In fact, I remember I did have some roommates who the girl was always squeamish about spiders, and always had her boyfriend keep killing all the spiders. And I said, would you please stop killing all the spiders in our house?
Yes.
And like 2 or 3 months later, we had a huge infestation of flies. I'm like, guess what the spiders were there to do?
We've talked about how I live way out in the boonies. Behind my house is a big hay field, so every time they cut hay, we get spiders. And the deal that me and the spiders have, we have a non-aggression pact.
That's how my wife is too.
Where as long as you don't surprise me, we're chill, bud. But the second you startle me, I'm not responsible for my actions. Right. We had a garden weaver, or a golden orb weaver on our front porch.
Is that one of the big ones?
And her name was Bianca, and she got absolutely gigantic. And of course, anytime I see an interesting bug, I send pictures to my dad because he has an entomology degree.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, look at this cool bug. And he's like, yep, I've seen a lot of cool bugs. But
that is one of them. There you go.
He humors me, as any dad would.
He's a good dad.
But we have a non-aggression pact. Unfortunately, it seems that Lolth aggressive.
Right, and then it's the same. Those spider gods, Lolth and Varenex, they're spider gods, and they're evil, and like. It'd be neat to finally find like a spider
Grandma
goddess.
Spider. She seemed nice.
Grandma Spider. Oh, that's right.
There we go.
Maybe a little bit of a trickster, but she's still pretty good.
Which Anansi. Grandma Spider was I haven't thought of Anansi, the spider from African lore.
Listen, we're here for a joke, but if someone gets hurt for the joke's sake, that's not necessarily our fault. If they can't take a joke.
Are we offending spiders?
I don't know. Anyway, Grandma Spider, you know what her first name is?
Grandma?
Charlotte.
Is it Grandma Spider?
Is she really?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, but that's wonderful.
Does that make her last name Spider? Charlotte Spider?
Her middle name is
Charlotte
And
Web
then
Spider.
you just in Xeonce's dreams, it just lots of spider webs. Some cleric.
I do. Some cleric.
Over the bed, there's a weaving. Yeah.
Some bard.
We'll have to, there's a little bit of the lore that's woven in there when the conversation is happening with Edra, that maybe there is the Lolth and this entity from another place, right, seems to be much darker than Veranex is. Like, Veranex is,
right,
associated with spiders, but Lolth seems much darker. This connection.
Veranex is more neutral good, or neutral evil, right. And Lolth is more chaotic evil.
Yeah. We that blending of stories has been really fun.
Yeah.
There were all moments, but so I don't want to say the other big one, but the other one was, of course, what Dr. Stone had to deal with as his past comes back.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I think having to bring that up, and I love the fact that we've all got our backstories and that you can kind of weave them in, spider pun, weave them in to what's going on right now. And so I think you've done a really great job. I'm just wondering if we're ever going to get Sables.
Yeah.
He's an enigma.
Yeah, you got to understand, behind the scenes, that's been kind of pretty much the conversation. Should we bring up Sable's backstory? And every time it's like, meh. At this point, we're like,
it's not important.
I mean, you got like a tinge of it when I was speaking with Minthra.
Yeah.
And backstage, the listener knows about a little bit of Sable's backstory because we teased it at the very begining of the show,
sure.
The campaign. There's little mentions of it as well, like the librarian. Mm-hmm. So but I love the fact that I love the fact that none of us have any clue.
Yeah.
The characters, yeah.
I don't have any idea how Moxie doesn't have any clue.
I don't know if you've noticed this about Moxie, but she's very. I wouldn't be surprised if she was an August baby because she is I'm the star of the show.
I can see that.
She's a Leo through and through.
Uh-huh.
So it's, yes.
I'm the star of the show.
Oh, we were like, wait, how can you be older than your dad, August E. Graymore? I was like very shocked for a moment.
Oh, no. A Leo. Leos are born in August mostly.
I thought I knew about all of you.
Or late July, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, she, I will say, wants Sable to be her friend and knows that Sable will disappear.
Yeah.
If he is uncomfortable, so she just doesn't bring it up.
Yeah, doesn't push for it too much.
No.
But mostly it's main character complex.
Yeah.
I feel like also in her backstory, she has kind of learned to not ask questions of broken birds, right? To just let them heal their wing.
You're here and you're doing your thing.
You're safe. Yeah. I will keep you safe until your wing is healed and you can go off on your own. And Sable...
Or work for you.
Right. I'll offer employment at a competitive rate. But Sable definitely, despite his absolute, I don't want to use the word savagery. That's not the word I want. Skill in battle. Definitely feels like broken bird.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's something that causes that assassinatability, not cause the ability, but like
right.
just that.
There's trauma there for sure.
Like, I'm not going to deal with it. Shakink. So.
I don't have to talk about my feelings if I just get to stabbing.
Moxie does get to be, the classic role of the bartender beyond drinks because she has conversations with Dr. Stone about you doing okay, and in a minute we'll talk about how she has conversations also with August. But
yeah,
I thought that was a nice moment. First off, Moxie and Dr. Stone don't hang out very often because they're the two weakest characters, and we need to be safe.
and we have a bartender patron relationship,
right?
We I mean, even though
you're not quite my norm, but you're like
right.
one step down.
Yeah. Well, I'm just like I'm just pretty close.
But
what's the guy? Cliff. I'm your Cliff.
Yes. That's what it is. But it's.
Do you know that the?
But she also again sees a broken bird, and so she tries to be what the broken bird needs. And this broken bird seemed like he needed a chat and maybe a shoulder. So she offers both.
Yeah.
But since we, weren't going to participate as actively, at least.
Yeah.
It was nice for us to have a moment to, be able to talk about what happens next, right?
Yes.
Each
I think
one of
it
these-
gets the distraction. It's
Right.
I think Moxie came in. Okay, let's talk about something else whilst we're hearing screams in the background.
Yeah.
Right. If we talk loud.
Yeah, let's talk about, what's the next step? We need to talk about Logan. We need to talk. There were things that we could, and it takes your mind off of the fact that torture is going on, but it's not necessarily torture, that it is something that needs to happen, but we can't be a part of it. And so it's a way to distract ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. Again, sound effects. Oh my gosh. We knew it was going to be kind of a dark moment as August and Sable are doing justice, if we want to, from their point of view, perhaps.
Air quotes.
But yeah, air quotes doing justice. But man, wow, it's a powerful ending to that episode.
That final scream I had to do some work on through Adobe Audition because I wanted it to be that just horrific scream that happens, because it is.
Holy crap, this guy's really pulling my arms off.
Yeah.
Scream.
And I can't, there's a movie or a television where it ends like that. You hear that, and I can't remember what it is, but that was the image in my mind, or the sound in my mind. And so to be able to put that together and find that.
It, not in the pitch or the tone of it at all, but it reminded me slightly of the scene in Star Wars in The Empire Strikes Back, whenever Vader walks out of the torture room and we hear Han Solo being tortured in the other room.
Yes.
Right? And that look on Lando's face as he's like, listen, he's no good to me, right? This isn't the deal we made type thing. But those screams, and it's off camera, but your imagination fills in the rest, right?
Exactly.
And so this was one of those things too, knowing what August and Sable had intended to do, and then we hear those screams as we fade to black.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. So with that, it's interesting. It's interesting, this party makeup, right? Because we have the cleric, and we have the fighter, and we have, the bard, and we have the rogue. But even though August is a guardian, so to speak, August is not Gideon in any way, shape, or form, right?
No.
There would have been, I don't know if Gideon would fit in this party that we currently have.
Probably not.
No.
Gideon wouldn't fit in a lot of parties, though.
Gideon didn't fit in the party after Gideon died.
Well,
That does put a damper on things.
We have talked about that on roundtables, though. I know the way that Michael said that is very funny. But
Well, the party did change. The storyline changed.
the storyline
Right.
And so but I do think that Gideon and August would get along, because Gideon was a fighter for justice, and so are you. Mm-hmm. It's how you go about doing it is different. Mine was a little bit more. Gideon was a little bit more trying to be a little bit more pure about it. August about
Superman and the Punisher.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
Or Superman and Batman.
You're Batman in that scenario.
Yeah.
I'm Batman.
You are Batman. because Superman wouldn't do the things that Batman does. That's,
correct.
Batman does get his
They're
hands
both getting to
dirty.
the same end. But how are they getting?
And they both have the same code of we don't kill.
Yeah,
but
August
they don't.
doesn't
But
have
how
that.
they but Superman's more than willing to make sure that he can get through the situation. Batman's more than willing to put you in traction. You might live, you might not enjoy the rest of your life, but
What was that famous line from Dark Knight? I'm not going to kill you, but I'm not going to save you either.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And then shoof, off of the train, right?
Yeah.
So it was very interesting to me that after this moment where Edward is, air quotes, taken care of, that August goes back to, air quotes, his place on the roof, and then you trash it.
Yeah.
You destroy it. What you want to? Can we pry?
About it.
Can we pry about the character motivation and the symbolism of that a little bit?
August has reached, I'll be brief with it. August has reached a point where he doesn't know what kind of man he is.
Yeah.
And we do see that in the conversation that you and I have.
Yeah. And so, is he hitting a reset button? Is he changing? Is he upgrading? Is he downgrading?
Yeah.
Is it a rebirth? Is it a good thing that
Yeah.
there's a rebirth? Is it a bad thing? So we're just going to go and see what happens.
I don't know about your soul, but your room is an upgrade because Smuggler Suite down there is better than.
It's so sticky.
But again, it's also like Bender's closet. It's like you had all this space. Like, why am I not staying here?
Yeah. It was also really interesting to me that, that we know the gloves are symbolic for August. That whenever, there's justice to be doing, they get slipped on.
Yeah.
And then the bloody gloves from Reynard, or was it your own gloves that were bloody?
It's the bloody Reynard gloves.
Yeah.
My gloves are still straight and narrow.
Yes.
And the other gloves are a little crooked and twisted.
Right? And that's so now you have two pairs of gloves and two paths. Like,
But
it's amazing.
Oddly, they both equal justice.
But I think
right?
that it's this. I think there is a quite from an outsider, outsider forming connections and those kinds of things as like a listener. The interesting bit, not the interesting bit, or a interesting bit, is that August leaves the guards because they're bad. They're dirty, they're crooked. And I feel like he feels as if, am I actually better than them? Even though we know that
how far do I go
is.
before I cross that line?
I want to
Right.
punish the people who were kidnapping kids, so I do it in a very bad way.
Yeah.
But is that the same?
It is.
Right.
Does that
like
make
the
me
Punisher, yeah.
the same as them?
Right.
Or am I better than them because
My
they're
ends were
they're
good.
doing it to kids for profit, and I'm doing it to the evil guys for justice?
Yeah.
Right. And so I think, and that's the conversation that August and Moxie have about the ends and the means. And
I loved how you boiled that down. Are you saying the ends justify the means? 'Cause
Yeah.
I forgot how much I made up on the spot about my backstory stuff. Not my backstory, my bar's backstory in that moment. Because then Brooke texted me the other day and was trying to decipher his own notes. And he was like, what did you say about this? And I was like, I don't remember.
And I'm just scribbling because I
But-
knew it was coming out fresh, right? I'm just scribbling furiously.
Coincidentally, I was listening to that episode while on my lunch break, and I was able to do that. And so
Which part?
Where I'm talking about, Harmony's been here.
Yeah,
Harmony's
okay,
parents
yeah.
died. This is Melody and Aria. and
That's
all
where
of
I
that
thought.
stuff like that.
I didn't realize that your workers were the girls.
Yeah.
I loved. I didn't.
That's-
So that
well-
was not originally a plan.
So the girl, I knew they all had they were all here. So that's how Alesta got the job, Moxie's mom. Is that
Right,
Rhapsody hired her because she was a woman in need and she was a woman who needed a job. And that's how all of the employees at the Siren Song have been, I guess, except Kobe. It's hard to think of Kobe as a man.
Yeah.
I don't even think of them at all.
And so, I was just
was
making
wonderful.
that up to
No,
make
it
a
was
point.
great.
But I think that she was struggling because she didn't know how to help. Right? She saw a broken bird
Yeah.
and she didn't know where the injury was. And so she couldn't fix it. And so she's like, we'll just fill it with German chocolate cake and put it in the basement.
Here, have some whiskey and some chocolate. Decide which way you want to deal with your feelings, right?
I love the
So-
fact that Tenvariel apparently has a Germany.
Evidently, there is
No.
German chocolate cake.
Maybe
There's
it's on a different. Nope, we don't have a Germany. There's a baker named German
German.
Ah.
who invented the cake.
There we go. So it's
love it.
German.
It's the German chocolate cake.
There we go.
We get it from the special German bakery.
Earl of Sandwich.
I think it's one of those things that like no matter every world has a German chocolate cake. It's the exact same German chocolate, but it comes from a different,
Right. You just need a rich chocolate cake and some coconut.
Yeah.
There are things in the multiverse that are always going to happen, right?
You always got to have a German chocolate.
You got to have this. So now we know that this is.
But I thought that was
things.
A really, and she tries to lighten it at the end. She tries to like make a joke as she goes, and it doesn't work because she says, "I'll take the trash out for me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm a broken man."
I am the trash.
Well, one last two last kind of symbol things, which one of them I feel like you did on purpose, and the other part I feel like is just serendipity of how well all of you work as actors, in the podcast and characters, because you smash the head all up, and then you realize that the bloody gloves, Reynard's bloody gloves, these vengeance gloves, are still underneath all the rubble. And you dig them back out, right? Like it would have been like, there, I'm done. I left it here. I'm going to go be the new man. But you don't. You pick them back up.
Would the new man have done? Would the new man be what the innocent need?
Yeah.
So I picked them back up until I decide.
There you go. Oh, and then again, it connects.
Oh, well, that definitely gives it like, I hadn't thought of it that way, but that's a very much... I will sacrifice my soul, for like I'm a bad person. I'm not,
and I'm okay with that.
And
but I don't. That's the thing is when he was.
We don't know if August is.
Yeah, when he went to the bar, it's like I'm bothered, but I'm not bothered by what I did. I'm bothered at the fact that I'm not bothered by what I did. I could sleep at night just fine, having committed that act. I'm okay with the fact that I can sleep at night.
Have my too far gone because it doesn't
there's a layer
bother me.
there, and then there's another layer, and
you're grieving the man that you were.
You're like an onion.
Possibly.
You've got layers.
We're parfaits.
Layers, onion boy.
What about parfaits? Parfaits have layers.
And then the serendipitous thing that happens, I don't know, maybe, who knows, is that sticky note, side note over here, we might come back to it. There's a figure on the roof with you right afterwards. And you say something to the effect about home is where you hang your halberd. Mm-hmm. And then when you go back downstairs, you just kind of toss it, not toss it, but you hand it to Moxie. And I'm sure you guys hadn't talked about this, but then Moxie takes it.
I forgot that he said that.
Yeah, that was a complete accident.
Moxie takes it and hangs it on the hooks underneath the bar.
I now understand why you were so excited when I said that. I didn't understand why Brooke got so excited when I said that they were.
My mind was just blown. My mind was just blown. I was like,
Brooke, I thought she was going to lay it on a shelf or something.
I mean, that's exactly the fact that Brooke got it, but neither of you did is perfect because that's exactly the point. Is that you're just kind of going through the motions as actors, as characters. But the fact that the DM, the storyteller, is actually going, oh, that worked so perfectly. And our listeners will also get that too, because that's what you said.
Yeah.
This is where I hang my halberd hat.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then you hang the halberd inside the siren song.
Home is, symbolically, home is now the siren song.
Yeah.
Right? So,
it always has been.
Yeah.
Oh, it always has been. It's just been on top, out in the rain. You've come inside, my friend.
We let in the stray cat.
Yeah, the stray cat finally came inside.
It was raining outside.
Now I can't leave.
It was the German chocolate cake. Now you can't leave because you've been fed.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fantastic. So it's so serendipitous. I love that moment. I also, you're talking about not noticing things, is I knew that it had happened, but I'm re-listening, and we have that, oh, it's Moxie. And I laughed aloud.
So whenever that whole thing happened, I was like, I wonder if Michael's going to leave in the part where it's like, I can see why she likes
This
you.
is now Connor.
Who?
This is now Connor who's doing that.
Connor left it in.
Connor's
Connor's helping with editing now.
Connor's
so.
now
Okay,
editing
then
our show.
magnificent, because it was like, because whenever I said that, I was like, this only works if the other piece stays.
Yeah.
So they both stayed, and then nice.
Well, it's so wonderfully edited, and I love the fact that Connor, you've been doing it since episode 48 or 47, something like that.
No, I think it was like 51.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It hasn't been that long.
That's right. Yes. So since episode 51, and you're doing it so wonderfully that I can now just really focus on just the sound effects and
You can spend a lot of time really tweaking a dwarf's,
Now we have editor and gaffer.
Yeah.
right?
Now we actually have editor
and a gap. Yeah.
So it's amazing.
Foley.
Foley, gaffer.
Yeah.
If you're mad about some of these episodes being short, we go on too many tangents.
There are a lot of tangents. If you want to hear those tangents, become a Patreon member and you can listen to those tangents because they are funny. The completed episode with the outtakes is funny.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Real quick, I do want to mention the fact that we do now have the identity of Baccarat.
Sure.
I think
Or
Brooke
so
was
we
going
assume.
to come talk about my conversation with Rhapsody first.
No. Go for
Okay,
it. Yeah,
I didn't
whatever.
know what you were-
No, we're good.
Go for it. Yeah, no.
No, the sure
They're
was not
shells.
about the order of the events. The sure was like, sure, you can think that. But why do you say so?
Because she's got shells.
There we go.
The seashell water breathing necklace.
Yeah.
And Johnny was just oblivious to it all because
You were
Well, poor
multitasking.
Johnny
I was
was
multitasking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
those
was
who
on
don't know,
call.
Johnny was actually working that
Yeah,
day, and so the fact that we all kind of reacted to the seashells, and Johnny
was like, huh?
What? Which of course was fine for your character.
in my mind, what I thought was going to
happen.
happen was, I guess I missed it. And Brooke's been giving out items, and I'm getting this seashell necklace that does something that Michael knows about because you had the biggest reaction. And then it kept going. I was like, that was curious. And then left.
There's also something to be said. I'm wearing headphones.
Yes.
None of you are wearing headphones. So sometimes things get said or things happen that you just don't notice because they're might be across the room from you, they're across the table from you. So you're not really listening. I'm listening to everything in my head.
Yes,
so when I can actually put things together a little bit faster.
Michael Cross is a tool.
Hi, Michael. I'm in your head.
Everybody is inside my head.
I got so tickled. Whenever Carrie was like, from quoted Mrs. Doubtfire. She was like, the whole time.
So funny.
Yep.
When it came to the idea that Rhapsody might be this secret vigilante figure that comes out from time to time.
Here's my theory, also as well, separately.
Yes.
Number one, we've only ever seen her in On and Around the Siren Song.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, when I was like, oh, we'll go to the Haunted Isles, but you gotta like stay out of danger, she was like, sure, hun. Which leaves Brooke an opening if it looks like it's gonna be a TPK for Rhapsody to kind of swoop in and even the odds.
Well, and I love the
Only
fact
if you let her go.
See, because
Deus Ex
Rhapsody
Rhapsody
will stay on the ship. No matter what, Rhapsody will definitely stay. Baccarat might leave the ship. That's the whole Bruce Wayne Batman thing. Bruce Wayne's in the mansion. He's in stately Wayne Manor. He never leaves.
He never leaves.
Right.
Batman leaves.
Pulls up in a car with a couple of girls,
Yeah.
And,
We and of course the joke was I said Rhapsody stay on the ship and she's like, babes, I'm not staying on the ship. My girlfriend's in the water. I don't know why you think I would stay on the ship when Martizola is right there. I've been looking for her
And I didn't-
for over 60 years.
and I didn't. I did intend a little, but I didn't realize like how quickly it went. I think Kiri's imagination was just really on. But then you said, "Well, I best better pack your swimsuit," and she went, "Swimsuit?" Like what, and just Kiri turned as pink as a tiefling. So it was very fun. So
That's my mom. Type figure.
So it was a great ending, and I love the fact that I got a moment with Elizabeth Stone's medals at the end, and so that was really nice. I think that was fun to find that music and so yeah,
each
good
one
ending
of
to our
those
role playing.
Yeah. Each one of those episodes had such a fantastic ending. We had, dare I say, almost the horror uncomfy ending of the screams, and then we had the suspenseful dun 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 ending of what is Sable gonna
almost
do?
got caught, yeah.
Right? And then we have the ending where Dr. Stone like lays down in bed with these memories,
both
literally and physically.
For us now, it's kind of awkward because our listeners don't get this. It's just it's episode after episode after episode. For us, that arc of recording, when we recorded episodes 51 through 53, it began with Elias Stone's backstory.
Yes.
We did that whole backstory thing. And so the fact, you couldn't have written this, the fact that it begins with the backstory and ends with the medals and him falling asleep. I think for us as actors to be able to play that full arc was wonderful. So again, the listeners, you're just hearing episode, but for us, it was a 3-episode arc that was just wonderful.
It all happened in one day, like literally a day of recording.
Yes.
So it was fantastic.
But also a day in real time, because that is also a separate joke that we made, because Logan Mitchell is a postman currently.
Yes.
Hasn't made it back because
he's on his way to August's
parents' house.
He left the same day. I think maybe you gave him those directions the day before you guys went down into the city and went back down into the
It was the day of. We were going. We were
the day of.
Yeah.
And so boom. So he's here at midnight, 2:00 in the morning as the bar closes. He might be back in town, or it depends if he stayed with Ma and Da.
Yeah, Ma and Da might have offered
if they
him.
invented him,
or even that, if he would have probably stayed at a tavern, he's not going to He's not going to travel at night.
Right.
There's no reason.
He would stay at the tavern.
Yeah. So he'll be back the next day. It's going to be a half-day journey back.
I just caught it too.
Yeah. So.
My favorite, real quick, I know we're running short on time, but we did finally get Nurse Kobe!
Yay!
Also, in mine, I was kind of hinting to Minthra about Logan Mitchell, and she was like some floozy from the Siren Song.
I know.
Yes.
Some floozy from the Siren Song. Yes, some floozy. Was Sable covering on purpose to be do a little obfuscation there? Or?
No.
No, yeah, just...
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Logan Mitchell is a floozy, and he has been in my bar.
Yeah. As far as I know, it's some floozy from the Siren Song.
Floozy, bimbo, himbo.
Oh, it's the guy with the boxer shorts. That guy.
And I do like that too, like these connections of, I haven't met him, but wait, I know who that is. Oh, the guy in the boxer shorts.
Right. Well,
Dr.
and
Stone hasn't met him, I don't think yet, but knows of him, right?
But that's something else that, happened in this little episode arc, is we're having these emotional roleplay moments, but we also are we're figuring things out. We're connecting dots.
Yes.
We decide, not to rescue Sweep Up because we're going to see him in a couple days because his soul's about to try to be sacrificed. Logan Mitchell's going to get the invite, and I use the word invite loosely.
Right.
And so we're going to have, I imagine, also a bunch of children, so it'll be easy to get August riled up to get going with this.
I imagine no problem whatsoever.
No problems there, but so we did a lot of dot connecting and a lot of, we've got a lot of things. We did a lot of, role play. That was the end of that night, so now it's fresh start next morning. We have work to do.
Yeah.
That's where we're starting today.
Yeah, for sure. We had, by the way, just last second of hoorahs and announcements and stuff. We had a fun review that popped in to Apple Podcasts that said in all cap letters, it was, "You love kobolds, I love kobolds, new favorite podcast," and then just a stream of exclamation marks. So we've got Kobe fans out there, or who knows, maybe they were listening to Campaign 1.
I was saying it could have been Connor.
Kobolds all the way down.
We have Connor. Kobolds are not. We are not in short supply of kobolds.
That's right.
I guess season 2.
I couldn't think of a kobold that shows up in season 2.
Because we're walking around the forest.
Whitaker! Oh my gosh, of course, Whitaker.
How could we forget?
Pastry Puffs.
Not Pastry Puffs. Pixie Puffs.
Pixie Puffs.
Pixie Puffs.
But this is from Kulag Kobold. So Kulag Kobold.
Oh, he may be biased.
If you're out there, yes, this is actually...
It's not a new listener. It's just one of the kobold interns. I told them to stay off the internet at work.
Kobold. Yay, kobold.
Tiny, what are you
I'm
doing?
gonna have to lock down their internet access. Put up some firewalls.
That's right.
So cool like Cobalt, if you're out there,
Yay!
send us more stuff. You can find us at Reddit.
That's right.
We love the fact that there's kobolds out there listening to us.
Also, shout out to new patron member Lee, who also has part of the tagline of their email address is the Iron Monkey. So we have Ben the White Monkey, and now we have Lee the Iron Monkey. And are you guys ready for this? A new patron, Timigo.
Tim.
We have
We have how many Tims do we have now as patrons?
I think we probably can say that we are the most Timified podcast out there. We've got Timigo, we have Timmy B, we have Tim A, he's the other Tim, and then Tim Original. So Tim.
We have 4
F.
Tims?
So
OG
so
Tim.
at least 4.
Quattro Tims.
Quattro
Send this
Tims.
podcast to all your Tim named friends. all your
Those
friends
who
named
call
Tim.
me
Tim. There you
Oh,
go.
great Tim.
So it's very plausible that we're just the podcast they need, as Kiri said.
We are the place for Tim.
Timothy. Maybe you're named after your dad and you're Timothea. Come on in. We'll take that as well. So woohoo!
This has been Red Dirt D&D.
There we go. Let's close it out. Let's go record. We're doing what? Episode 57 through.
However many we do.
How many we do? So now we're on. Now it's hard to do on to 61. That would be 4, right?
No. But yeah, that's why you're an English teacher, not a math teacher. It's 60.
I'm Brooke Bullock.
I'm Carrie Hester.
And this has been Red Dirt D&D.
I'm Johnny Payne.
I'm Connor Shenold.
I think it's gonna be Michael. I'm Michael Cross.
No! And I'm Michael Cross. You have to use your radio voice.
And I'm Michael Cross.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
We love you. See you later.
Keep up to date with the coolest geek shenanigans in Oklahoma when you listen to the Okie Geek podcast. Stay in the know about upcoming conventions, comic books, and the nerdiest happenings in the Panhandle State. That way you don't miss out on things like live Mario Kart, Wizard Comics, or board game conventions. Search for Okie Geek on the NPR app or wherever you get podcasts.